Well, hello, sports fans. Back at the tying desk. Today we're going to tie up Big Mike's ground shrimp. We're going to start with a Mustad 34007 in size 1/0. I wouldn't really tie this on anything smaller. You'll see why later. First we'll get our hook firmly in the vise. Hope you can see this well. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. And my thread is kind of a shiny tan color, just because I like it and it was already on my bobbin. But you don't really see the thread anywhere except right at the end when we tie it all off. So we're going to lay down a good thread base. Now I want this fly to ride hook up, and I also want it to sink. But I don't want it to sink too fast. That's why I'm not putting lead eyes on it. What I'm going to use is a pretty heavy lead wire, and it's 0.035. I'm going to pull some off. I'm going to start wrapping that around the hook. And I'm going to do, about 12 wraps. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And usually with smaller lead wire, I could just wiggle it and break it off. But this is a little stouter, so I got wire cutters to snip it off. And we'll take that end that we started with and tuck it around, get it in position. Snip the tag end off of our thread. Now we're going to work that thread back over that lead wire just to secure it in place. And move our thread down around the bend of the hook. Now, here I've got some Grizzly Marabou in golden brown. These aren't really big feathers, and I'm gonna get 3 of them out of here. You can see they're not real big. And I'm gonna stack them, lining up the tips. Comme ça, which is Cajun French for like that. I'm going to wet them. Lay them on here, just the tips sticking out, and we're going to tie that down. Lay the rest of it down along the hook shank, and we're going to tie it on the hook shank, which helps give us some body help us build up the body. Snip off the rest of this. Try and hit my garbage can down there. Okay. Wrap that back up real nice and tight. Move it back up to the front. Okay. Now, what we've got see, I've got some pheasant here, and we're going to use one of these nice feathers, one of these flank feathers over here. Pull that out. And we're going to kind of remove all this fuzz back here. Tie it back. Snip that off at a good point, good tie-in point. We'll tie that in. We get out our hackle pliers. And we're going to palmer this around with fairly tight wraps. You know what? It ain't time for that yet. We're going to take that off. Forgot a step. What can I say? I'm not a professional. Here we've got our trusty coyote tail. And back here we've got short fibers. And as you move down the tail, the fibers get longer and they get darker. We're going to grab a bunch of these short fibers down here. Not a bunch, but enough. You see what we have. Now the back end is full of this fuzz. You can see this fuzz. I want to get that fuzz out of there. It helps to comb it out a bit. See all that fuzz in my comb? I want to get all that out of there. Because if you don't, the fly will be too bulky and you don't get a secure tie on the long fibers. And there's a bunch of it in there. Okay, we just about got all of it out. Trim up the back end of this so it's nice and neat. We're going to lay that right on top of the marabou. Tie it in real good. Okay, now we're ready for the pheasant feather. So we could tie him back in. Move our thread out of the way. Start palmering him around. And we're going to tie him in. And snip off the tag end. We're going to take all of this, all these fibers, and brush them back toward the back of the hook, which would be the front of the fly. And we're going to tie that down. Okay. And we're going to turn our fly over. Just kind of trim up all this mess. And we're going to put some eyes on there. I like to use these Easy Shrimp eyes. They're connected to a tab in the middle, so they're always even, perfect shape, and they're easy to tie in. And I'm going to pull the eyes a bit wider. And we're going to set that tab right there. Tie those eyes in. These are size medium. You could go with a large, but medium is what I happen to have. Tie that all up. Okay. Looking good so far. Now, we're going to make a dubbing loop. Nope, we're not going to make a dubbing loop yet. Sorry about that. So now I gotta spool up all of this thread again. I ought to write all these steps down so I don't forget them. Okay, back to where we started. Some crystal flash. I'm gonna take 2 strands of crystal flash, fold it in half, cut it, fold it in half again around my thread. We're going to tie that in on the top of the fly, like so, or comme ça. Half on each side, and we're going to wrap it back up. Keep it in place. Next step, some crazy legs. These are clear salt and pepper. We're just going to take one. Fold it around. Bring it up to the top. Wrap rearward. And then we're going to put a crazy leg, one crazy leg on each side. Wrapping our thread back up so to keep them in place. All right, now guess what? Now we're going to make a dubbing loop. My loop spinner. And ice dub in UV tan. So we're going to get a little bit, stick it in our dubbing loop. You know what? I forgot something. Let's go back a step. Roll up all of this thread again. Okay, now we're going back to our pheasant. Getting another one of these lovely pheasant feathers. I want to find kind of a long one. Here we go. Strip back the fuzz, trim it to length, tie him in. Now guess what time it is? Now it's time to form a dubbing loop. UV tan dubbing. Okay. Pinch that thread together, give it a spin. And we're going to start wrapping that around. and snip off the loop. Okay, so now we're cooking. You got any really long ones? You could just trim them. But that kind of builds up the body. Now we go back to our pheasant feather that we tied in. And like before, we're going to palmer him, but not very tightly. Tie that in. Okay. Now, we want to kind of pull these legs down, or the fibers, the feather fibers, pull them down. And we're going to hold them down while we take some UV, thin, hard. This is Solarez. And I'm gonna put a bit of that up there. This tube's about empty. Come on. It may be empty. Oh, there we go. And just kind of spread it up there. Then with your finger, kind of run it down on those feather fibers. Holding the fibers down, I'm going to hit that with the UV. For about 10 seconds. All right, now you see we got all these legs down here, shrimp legs. Now, final step, back to our coyote tail. We're going to move up here toward the tip of the tail, where these fibers start out brown and then they turn black on the end. We'll grab us a little batch, snip that off. Once again, butt fuzz, so we got to pull all that out. Hit it with the comb. Get all that butt fuzz out of there. Okay. Now we're going to lay that on top of the hook. And tie it in back here. Okay, and you see we're going to leave this bit sticking out past the eye of the hook, because that forms like a nice little shrimp tail. We're going to cut it off, trim it to size, cut it even, and we're going to whip finish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like 7. It's a magic number. Snip that off. And we're gonna finish this off with some bone dry epoxy, UV epoxy, again by Solarez. Hit it with our light. And there we have it. Now, kind of position the coyote hair. Let me see if I can hold this so you can get a good look at it. There we go. Big Mike's brown shrimp. Now, the reason why I wouldn't tie this on anything smaller than a 1/0 is you've got all this material in the gap of the hook. And you can see with a 1/0, the hook point rides right at the top of the wing there. So when a fish hits it, you got plenty of gap to hook your fish. If you went with a smaller hook, you might have problems hooking up. Anyway, Big Mike's brown shrimp. I think it'll work on some reds. Stay tuned. No telling what we'll tie next time, and hopefully I won't skip any steps. I think I'm gonna start writing the steps down so I can follow the script. Thanks for watching.